Fetuses are definitely not babies. They have the potential to become humans. They will become babies if they go through a 9-month process of growing and developing within a woman's body.
It is not a baby. A baby is a fetus that has been born. We need to maintain medical decisions over our bodies in conjunction with doctors.
We all believe in the industry, on the abortion side, that we're killing human life. It's just a necessary evil. Just like you can justify, self-defense.
Every individual human life begins at conception when a fertilized egg now has a unique genetic pattern that did not exist before. That life goes through various stages, but it begins at conception.
And yet we're now adding, well, consciousness, sentience, movement. But sadly, that discussion has almost passed us by, because most people in the medical community believe that life begins at implantation. It's embryologically and genetically distinctly human, because it's not an oak tree, it's not a bird, it's not a car, it's not, it's not a cat. And it's distinct from mom or dad. I'm not in the business of, guessing or becoming less precise. I'm in the business of science. It's human and it's alive at fertilization.
Clearly, it's not just a clump of tissue, but that's just a justification that people use to convince themselves that abortion is okay, or to convince others.
After 18 days, the baby has a heartbeat. A lump of tissue doesn't have a heartbeat.
Now, we will say to people who are young and impressionable, don't worry about it, it's just a blob of tissue, to try to prevent them from engaging the difficult decision of having an abortion. Why would you put pressure on this woman not to have the termination? It's a tough decision already. You try to eliminate suffering as much as possible. Blob of tissue, it's basically saying you're not mature enough to be given this information.
There are many people who believe that fetuses are not persons until they reach a certain stage, such as viability, the capacity to feel pain, or until they are born.
Do you understand that 90+% of OBGYNs terminate sick children? So where do you draw the line there? Anencephaly, no brain? Do you eliminate a child with cystic fibrosis? Do you Tay-Sachs disease? Do you eliminate Down syndrome? Where do you draw the line then? The conditions that you should abort for just increase every year. Quality of life, it's a slippery slope.
An adult was a teenager, was a child, was a toddler, was an infant, was a fetus, was an embryo, was a zygote. It goes all the way back, and there is no one point. There is no personhood fairy that's there to say, now you have real individuality. No, it goes all the way back to conception. Are we going to discriminate based on age in a way that is lethal? No. That's unethical, that's immoral, and you don't need religion to get there.
Legal protection for the human person from biological beginning to natural death is the first milestone. It's the first goal we need to accomplish if we want to create a culture of life, love, and beauty.
We needed to focus on what the crux of the issue is. And we knew Roe versus Wade, which was the decision that liberalized abortion in America, said if the case were ever made that the unborn child is a person, well, then the argument for abortion collapses. I think we have created the debate over personhood and made that word in the forefront of people's minds. And we've brought to people's attention that we don't treat the preborn child as a human, as a person, but rather a piece of property.
Personhood is definitely necessary in order to lay a foundation to overturn Roe versus Wade and to end abortion in America. I don't want to see this issue just merely tossed to the states. The 14th Amendment says that no state shall deprive a person of their right to life without due process of law, and that no state shall deny a person equal protection of the laws.